Well, hello guys. We are back to online for now. Okay, so we go ahead and open up your 8-7 textbook. Go to page 15. Here's where we're starting. Okay, so lesson 3, page 15. All right, lesson 3. Missing numbers in addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. All right, so what I would like you to start with is the mental math problems. So you don't have to write any of this down. I would just like you to do the mental math section. So under warm up, it says mental math. So do letters A through G. So letter A, it says 3 score and 6. Letter B, it says 2.5 dozen. Letter C, half of 1,000. D, it says 1,200 plus 300. So go through all those and mentally do those. You don't have to write them down. You don't have to turn that part in. Okay. And then once you're done with that, we are now going to go through examples 1, 2, 3, and 4. So have your notes out. I'm going to do T-chart notes. So at the very top, go ahead and write down lesson 3, because that's the lesson we're on. Lesson 3 for 8-7 math. Okay, so towards the bottom of page 15, we have a new concept, and that is an equation. So an equation is a statement that two quantities are equal. So here are two equations. So we have 3 plus 4 equals 7, and then we have 5 plus a equals 9. So the equation on the right contains a variable. In this, we will practice finding the value of variables in addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, so we have missing numbers in addition, and that can be in 3 different places. We could have a missing sum. So this is at the bottom of page 15, so it could look like this. 2 plus 3 equals n. N is your missing number. That's your missing variable. So that's a missing sum. Or we could have a missing add-in. So 2 plus a, so that's your add-in, equals 5. So that's one other scenario. And then the last scenario you could have is b plus 3 equals 5. So those are your 3 different scenarios that you could have for addition. So now that moves us on to page 16. And if I'm going too fast, you can pause at any time, rewind, whatever you need to do. So example number 1. Get all this erased real quick. So example number 1. Okay, example 1. Find the missing number in each equation. So letter A, we have example 1. Letter A, we have n plus 53 equals 75. So we are going to find what n is. To do that, so I'm going to highlight my missing value, which is n. To do that, we're going to have to turn this into a subtraction problem. We're going to have to say 75 minus 53, so the bigger number, our sum subtracted by one of our add-ins. So 75 minus 53, so 75. So first we're going to start in the ones column. 5 minus 3, it's going to equal 2. 7 minus 5, that's going to equal 2. So 22 equals n. Okay, so I'm going to check just to make sure we got that right. So 22 plus 53, so starting the 1 column, 2 plus 3, we have 5, 2 and then in the tens column we have 2 plus 5, which is 75. Does that match those two values? Yes, it does. Smiley face. We're happy. We got the right answer. So 22 equals n. That is our missing number. Okay. Go ahead and try letter B and C on your own. So the only difference here is in letter C, you're going to need to add all those add-ins together first. So for letter C, you'll have to add 3 plus 4 plus 7 plus 8. And then once you have all those added together, you will take 40 minus your answer, and you should get your missing number. If you do have a question on it, it does have the answer down below, letter C. Okay, now we're going to move on to subtraction. Okay, example 2. So now we have missing numbers in subtraction. So there are 3 numbers in the subtraction equation, just like addition. If one of the 3 numbers is missing, we can find the missing number. Okay, so here's our 3 different ways we can find that missing number. So right here we have n minus 3 equals 2. So that first value right here, n, this example is a missing minuend. The second one right here, that one is a missing subtrahend. So these are the lessons that we just did last week. So we're taking 5 minus x, which is our subtrahend, equals 2. And then we have a missing difference. So 5 minus 3 equals m. And m is our missing difference. Okay, so let's try example 2, which is part of it is at the bottom of page 16, and then the answers are at the top of page 17. So this is good because you can't see the whole problem. Okay, so I'm going to do letter A for you guys, and then you can do letter B on your own. So you can pause the video to try letter B on your own. So find the missing number in each equation. For letter A, we have P minus 24 equals 17. So in this one, we have a missing minuend, and that one is letter P. So letter P is our missing minuend. So in this scenario, we are going to have to add 24 plus 17 to get our missing minuend. So we're going to take 24 plus 17, and that'll give us our missing value of P. So 7 plus 4, that is going to equal 11. 1 plus 1 plus 2 gives us 4. 41 is our value for P. So go ahead and try letter B on your own. You're going to notice that in that one, we have a missing subtrahend. So with that one, what you're going to have to do is you're going to take 32, which is your minuend, and you're going to subtract that from 14. So 32 minus 14, and that will give you your missing subtrahend. Okay, so try letter B on your own. Have that in your notes. And now we're going to move on to example 3, which is on page 17. Example 3, now we are doing missing numbers in multiplication. And as you can assume, in example 4, we will be doing missing numbers in division. So for our different examples, we have a missing product. So 3 times 2 equals P. That's when we have a missing product. We can have a missing factor. So 3F equals 6. That would be a missing factor. A different way of having a missing factor would be R times 2 equals 6. Okay, so with letter A on example 3, this would be an example of a missing factor. So remember, when there's no multiplication sign or anything in between the 12 and our variable here, that just means that we are taking 12 times n equals 168. Always remember that. So another way of writing this would be 12 times n equals 168, or we could write it as, in parentheses, 12, and then in parentheses, n equals 168. Or we could have 12 dot, that's another way for writing multiplication, n equals 168. or just in our case, we have 12n equals 168. So those are some of the different ways you can see multiplication written, okay? So in our case, we are going to have to divide. In this case, we have to divide. So we are going to take 168 and divide it by 12. How many times does 12 go into 16? Once. Put my 12 down here because 12 times 1 equals 12. Now we have a subtraction problem. 16 minus 12 gives me 4. Bring down my 8. How many times does 12 go into 48? That'll be 4 times. So I'll put my 4 above the 8. 4 times 12 is 48. So I'm going to have a remainder of 0. Remainder of 0. So the answer for n, so n equals 14 in this example, okay? Now I'd like you guys to also try letter B and letter C. So B is very similar to this one. You're just going to have to take 105 divided by 7. But letter C, what you're going to have to do first, and you will be able to see how to do it on, what page is that? Page 18. What you're going to have to do first is you're going to have to multiply 2 times 3, which is going to be 6, and then you'll have, so that'll give you 6a equals 30. Then you are able to take 30 divided by 6, which will give you your missing value of a. Okay, so go ahead and try on page 17, letter B and letter C. Now, then once you do that, we're going to move on to example 4. Okay, out of all the ones we've been doing, example 4 will probably be the most challenging. Okay, so example 4. So this is missing numbers in division. So we're on page 18 in your textbook. So we could have a missing quotient. So if we had 24 over 3, that would equal n. That would be a missing quotient. If we had a missing divisor, which is number in your denominator, you could have 24 over m equals 8, or you could have a missing dividend, which is also a missing numerator. So you could have p divided by 3 equals 8. So in this example, and I'm going to do both examples in this scenario. So letter A, we have a divided by 3 equals 15. Okay, so whenever you have a missing dividend, so a missing number in your numerator, you can use multiplication. In this scenario, when you have a missing number in the numerator, you can use multiplication. And that is because we need a bigger number in the numerator. So we will take 15 times 3, and that should give us our missing value. So 3 times 5 is 15. And then we have 3 times 1 plus 1, that's going to give us 45. 45 for our value of a. Now we can check that. So 45 divided by 3, that should give us 15. So remember, whenever you see 45 like this, so 45 over 3, that's another way of writing 45 divided by 3, or 45 divided by 3, like that. Okay, so whenever you see a fraction that has 45 in the numerator and then 3 in the denominator, your numerator is what you are dividing your numerator by your denominator. Okay, so let's try letter B now. Let's try letter B. This one's a little bit different, a bit more challenging. So for letter B, we have 64 divided by B, which is our missing divisor, equals 4. 64 divided by B equals 4. Okay, when you have a missing divisor, this is when you are going to use division to find your missing B value instead. Okay, so we're going to have to take 64 and divide it by 4 to find our B value. So how many times does 4 go into 6? once. 6 minus 4 is 2. Bring our 4 down. How many times does 4 go into 24? 6 times. And that goes out evenly. So we're going to have 64 over 16. Okay, so our B value is going to be 16. Okay, all right. So now that is all of your examples. So go ahead and once you're done with your notes, you can find your homework problems in Google Classroom. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So 8-7 Math, here we are. We are in 8-7 Math. Once you click on it, it'll show you week 1 right here. We are not in week 1, we are in week 2. So Monday, September 24th, if you click on that one, you will see it says no school. So that day, Monday, September 14th, is essentially like a snow day. We did not have any classes that day. So you can think of it as a snow day. But Tuesday, September 15th, that is when you have homework. So notes, that's what we just did that in the video that you're watching right now. And then part 2, you're going to do the homework portion. So on page 19, you're going to do A through J, all of those, and then numbers 1 through 29 odd. And remember, you can do some of the even ones if you would like for extra credit. Okay? So page 19, A through J, numbers 1 through 13. I'm going to draw a little circle around that so you guys can see where I'm talking about. Let's see if I remember how to do that. Maybe not. Nope, it's not going to work. Okay. Anyway, there you go. So go to Google Classroom. If you have any questions, let me know. And you can turn that in by bringing it into the office, or you can turn it in by scanning the papers that you did and emailing them to me. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. You can ask on Google Classroom or by emailing me. All right, guys. I will be seeing you soon. Bye.